All right, today we're working on 10.4 Venn diagrams. Definition of a Venn diagram: a diagram that uses circles, 2 to 3 circles usually, to represent sets and their relationships. A little tidbit down here. Cite the source, the word origin and history for a Venn diagram is in 1884. It was named for English logician John Venn. He lived till 1923, of Cambridge, who explained them in the book Symbolic Logic. All right. Example 1. In a class of 50 students, 18 are only in choir, 26 are only in band, and 2 are in both band and choir. Now, anytime you do Venn diagrams, the one word that you want to look for that changes things dramatically is the word only. Right? That changes where you put things. And first of all, now you don't have this on your notes, so the first thing you need to do is draw the big rectangle. We call this our universe. And within our universe now, we're talking about choir and band. So we need one circle. What do you want this first one to be? Choir or band? Choir it is. So you write choir because you need to label it. And obviously this one's going to be band on the outside somewhere. Some people put them underneath. And this whole circle represents band. So what about that part in the middle here? What does this part represent right here? That's both band and choir, isn't it? Because that's where they overlap. That's the part they share. Now, we gotta give it a title. Let's give it a short little title. What do you want it to be?
Choir and band.
Students in choir and band. Got it. Choir and band. All right, what do we know? It says in a class of 50, so we know there's a total of 50 kids that we talked to. 18 are only in choir. So that word only tells me I'm able to put that number in there somewhere. 18 are, well, here the whole circle is choir, but what part represents only choir? The yellow part. So we know that 18 goes in here. 18 are only in choir. 26 are only in band. What part is the only in band?
Purple.
Purple. And then it goes on to say, and 2 are in both choir and band. And you already told me that this section stood for both. So what number goes here? 2. Then we have our Venn diagram labeled as much as we can. And the question answers, how many students are not enrolled in either choir or band? Well, first of all, out here in the universe, what is our total? What's our total of kids so far when we add up all our numbers in our Venn diagram?
46.
So 18 plus 2 plus 26 equals 46 total. So we're missing how many kids yet aren't accounted for? 4. So how many are not enrolled in either choir or band? 4 students. That one is done. That's as easy as they get. All right? Now this next one. Draw a Venn diagram. So you need to draw your, what do you call the box? Close. Universe. I like your thinking. Draw your 2 circles for our sets. What should we title this? In the 8th grade class, there are 320 students now that we're full. There are 85 students in band, 200 students are on a sports team, And 60 students are in band and on a sports team. So, sports and band. Got it? And our title, students in band, and it really should be and or sports. All right, now we need to put some numbers in there. Now they talked to 320 students. There are 85 students in band. So this circle here represents band. Where do I put 85? Do I put it in here? Does it say there are 85 students in only band? No, it does not. So I know there's 85 students going to be together in here and here. So we're not sure yet. So what we should do is put our 85 up here in parentheses. We know that this whole circle needs to equal 85. That will help us figure out what to put in the other ones. We know that 200 students are on sports teams. Does it say only sports teams? Nope, it does not. So what should I do with the 200? Yep. So we know that that set represents 200. The blue set here for sports. So far now, we can't put anything in our diagram yet. That's all the information that we had. We wouldn't have enough information to fill out a Venn diagram. But it does tell us that 60 students are in band and on a sports team. And so where does that fall? Right in the middle here, the part that they share. We know that this is 60. Now can we figure out the only? So how many students are in only sports? How am I going to figure that out? Yep. 200 minus the 60 they share. How many are left over? So 140 students that are only in sports. How many are only in band? You would take your 85 minus your 60. How many are only in band? 25. Now does that answer our final question? How many students are not in band and not on the sports team? And how did you get that? Subtract what?
320.
Where'd you come up with 320?
That's how many students there are.
Okay, so 320. That's how many students they started with, and you subtracted what?
225.
How'd you get that? You added all your numbers up inside the Venn diagram. And what do you get? 140 and 60 is 200, 225. Now notice something? These add up to 225, right? But this 285, how come these don't add up? This adds up to 225 and these add up to 285. Because they what? What do? We shared some. They're sharing this number. So your outside numbers aren't going to add up to your total Venn diagram. But this one adds up to this one. This one adds up to this one. So we need to go to the total just like you did. So we have 140, 60, and 25. That ended up to be 225. What do I get when I subtract? 95. 95 what? Students. Students not in either. So 95 students not in either one. All right, example 3. Now we have out of 100 people surveyed on the pets they own. So what do you want to label it? Draw your universe. We have 2 sets here because what are our 2 sets? We have people that own dogs and people that own what? Cats. Well, then there's people that didn't own either. All right, so let's look at it this way. Pets people own. know some people own dogs. We know some people own cats. Total of 55 people owned dogs. So right here in the dog zone, we know that that circle has to be 55. 8 people owned a dog and a cat. Where do I put that? Right in the middle. 8 people owned a dog and a cat. 26 people owned no dog and no cat. Where's that at? That goes in our universe. That's because it's not indicated on our Venn diagram. All right? So we have 26 people here in the universe that did not own anything out of those 55 total people we talked to. All right? Well, let's figure this out. What can I figure out? How many cats only that people had? Or how many dogs only people had? Okay, if we figure out how many dogs only, how many people owned only dogs? How do we figure that out again? 55 minus 8 is what? 47. So now I know 47 people that just own dogs. Can I figure out how many people only own cats? Now we can. How do I do that? 47 plus 8 plus 26 in our universe there that aren't in our Venn diagram that don't own either. What do I get when I add those up? 47, 8, and 26. I get 81. Am I done? Is that how many people own only a cat? No. What do I do? 100 people total surveyed. So 100 minus these 81 people. So what's 100 minus 81? So that tells me 19 what? 19 people owned, what's the word? Only cats. 19 people that owned cats only. And now we're all filled in and we answered our question. How many people owned only a cat? 19. All right, example 4. We have a veterinarian surveyed 26 of his patrons. What's a patron? You guys, customers. Excellent. He discovers that 14 have goldfish, 10 have guppies, 5 have betas, 4 have goldfish and guppies, 3 have goldfish and beta, and 1 has guppies and beta. None of them had all 3. So, what should we say? Types of fish people owned. Now we need to label our sets. What's one set? Now we don't have 2, we have 3. What do we have? Okay, we have betas. We have goldfish, good. And we have guppies. Now, do we all have to have them in that order? Could yours be different than mine? Probably. That would still be fine. All right, now let's try to label. Look at all these little circles we get to label. What do we know for sure? The veterinary surveyed 26, so 26 is our total that we're working with. That's our magic total. 14 have goldfish, so where should I put that? Exactly, that goes above the goldfish because we don't know if it's only goldfish. So we have to put that 14 up here. 10 have guppies. Where does that go? Yep. It doesn't say only. And how about the next? And 5 have beta. So go up here. 4 have goldfish and guppies. Notice it doesn't say only goldfish and guppies. So what shares the goldfish and the guppies? If it was only goldfish and guppies, it would be here, right? But we don't know for sure, but we know that this total here has to be what? 4 have goldfish and guppies. So we know that that total is going to have to equal 4 when we add this one and this one together. So we really can't put a 4 in there because maybe it's 2 and 2. Maybe it's 1 and 3. We don't know yet. But we do know that you have to add those two together and get 4. Let's go to the next one. Maybe that'll help us a little bit better. 3 have goldfish and betta fish. Well, does that really help us much? Well, goldfish and betta fish. So that's right here. So they're saying that this circle has to equal what? 3. We don't know if there's 3 and 0, 0, 3, 1 and 3, 3. We don't know. 2 and 1, 1 and 2. There we go. That sounds better. How about the next part? And 1 has guppies and betta fish. Oh, great. So if we go here, guppies and betta fish, we know that that has to equal 1. Well, where does the 1 go? We don't know yet right now. If that's all the information they gave us, we'd be in trouble. We wouldn't know where to put things. This magical last line tells us everything. None of the patrons have 3 different types of fish. So 0 goes where? In this case, they made it really easy on us. Which one shares out of this, 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 and this? Which one shares all 3? The middle right here. So we put a 0 here on this one. On your worksheets, it might say 2, or it might say 1. Okay? Well, if I know that this has to equal 3, then what number goes here? 3. If I knew these have to equal 1, what goes here? These have to equal 4. Well, that made it easy. Okay, well, say on your worksheet that this would have been a 2. What would have this been? 2. If this would have been a 2, this would have had to have been a, and that wouldn't have worked because this is more than 2, so it would have had to have been maybe a 1. Let's redo that. What if this was a 1? This would be a 2. This was a 1. This would have to be a, this was a 1. This would have to be a 0. There, that better. That was a better example. Okay? Because you do have something like that on your worksheets. Are we done? No? We still want to know the onlys. Can I figure those out yet? Yep. All right, let's do the goldfish first. Looking at just the goldfish. This circle right here. What does this circle have to equal, did we say? It has to equal 14. How many do we have in there so far? 4, 0, and 3. 7. So how many's left over? 14 minus 7 is 7. So 7 had only goldfish. How about here? The betta, this circle. 5 minus 3, 0, and 1 is 4. So this turns into a 1. And how many only had guppies? Take the 10 minus what? How many in the guppy circle? 5. So now we have 5 people that had only guppies. Let's see if it answers our question. How many patrons do not have fish? Does that tell us anywhere out here in the universe how many did not have any? We need to figure that out. How do I do that? Okay, do I add up these outside ones? No, no. I add up all the inside. 7, 3, 1, 4, 0, 1, and 5. What do those all add up to? 21. Everybody agree? I agree. Now what do I do with that? My total is 21. Right, because we surveyed 26 people. So how many are left over? 5. And so that would be out here in your universe, 5. 5 stands for 5 patrons had neither fish. That doesn't make sense. Had neither fish? Had any of the fish. Let's go with that. I'm glad I'm math now language. 5 patrons had What did you guys say? It sounded better when I come up. Did not have any fish. I like that. Did not have any fish. Period. Questions? All right, you're gonna do this as a typo on the one worksheet. I'll give you that. On the first worksheet for today, on problem number 1, hopefully I'll have this fixed next year, but if your problem number 1, it says in our math class, it says 22 students. Let's change that to 30. And then on problem number 2, so if your worksheet on number 1, page 1, doesn't say in our math class of 30 students, change it to that. The 10 is right and the 7 is right in number 1. Number 2, instead of 81, it should read 100 students are on Team Saturn. Then there's one other little mistake on the second page, on number 4, where it says, it should say, instead of 45 of them do their homework, it should say 76. So instead of the 45, it should be 76 to get those problems to work out. Okay, good luck.